How do you come across to other people? Can you read the room? There are some people that think, oh my gosh, like people love me, man. Like, oh my gosh, I add so much value to other people. And it's not the case.
Welcome to the EQ Gangster podcast, where you will learn practical tools to grow your mental and emotional health and intelligence to be the best version of yourself, both at work and at home. It is real, raw, and transformational. The journey of emotional growth isn't easy, but it's worth it. I believe in you.
EQ Gangsters, this episode is going to be about how are you perceived by others? How are you perceived by others? Okay, so how are you perceived by others? And how do you figure that out? I am thankful for technology, laptops, phones, ability to communicate with people at a distance. I am thankful for challenges. I'm thankful for being challenged. I'm thankful for people in my life that hold me accountable. I am thankful for people in my life that love me enough to want me to be better than where I am or who I am right now. I'm thankful for smiles and friendships and new relationships and new homies and meeting new people. I met a super lady today at the shoe store who has a really neat story. I asked her, I said, hey, thanks for helping me out with my shoes and stuff. I said, hey, do you mind telling me your story? And she's like, well, both me and my husband were addicts, drug addicts for 10 years. And I'm like, wow, like that's, and now you're working at a shoe store and like, you seem like you're doing great. She's like, yeah, I've been sober for a year. I'm like, that's incredible. That's amazing. I'm like, what was the switch? What flipped the switch for you? And she's like, I had an encounter with God, and it was life-changing. And so that's why I've been sober for a year. I'm like, man, I'm so proud of you. Like both you and your boyfriend or husband. I'm like, that's got to be one of the hardest things on the planet to do is get free from an addiction, a drug addiction. Like that's incredible. And so anyway, I was just really trying to encourage her, and I was grateful for that interaction. I was grateful, very grateful. And anyway, I just tried to encourage her and stuff, and her husband and stuff. So that was really awesome. Okay, how do you come across to people? So we have a new team member on our team. She's been, maybe a couple weeks, and super great lady. And so I've had a couple conversations with her. I try to make my rounds to all the new team members that we have, the new hires, and just spend a little bit of time QT with each one. And super thankfully grateful to be a part of an organization that's growing. We're on the grow, which is, again, I'm super grateful. Anyway, so I'm spending time with her, and we have the spot where her cubicle is with the rest of her team, the folks that she's on the same team with, and which is in a much larger room with a lot of other cubes and a few other departments. We have this big open floor space where there's a lot of open, a lot of cubes. It's just in this open area. And again, with multiple departments on this floor. And so I do my thing. Those y'all who know me, you guys know how I roll. Like, I love people. People's my jam. So I go around doing my thing, high-fiving people, giving folks hugs and high fives and fist bumps and talking to them and hopefully encouraging them and asking them questions. And anyway, but it's my thing. That's what you right. You guys, again, those y'all who know me, that's how I roll. And I mean, sometimes if I'm not, it's because something's on my brain. So there are exceptions. And I wish I was more consistent in that area. But like when my brain is chewing on something, especially details, it takes a lot of energy for me to do details. And so I kind of lock in and I kind of go in the zone, and I'm less outgoing and extroverted because I'm like in my focus mode, which may come across as like, dude, what's your problem? Or, hey, what's wrong with Noble? And oftentimes, maybe there's some times where there's something wrong. Most of the time, if I'm not my normal outgoing extroverted self, it's either I have very, very low energy, I didn't sleep well that night, or my brain is working on something. Anyway, the majority of the time, I am going around doing my high fives, fist bumps, and asking team members about themselves, how their day's going, what they're up to, what they're learning, how they're growing, that kind of thing. And so this new team member, this lady, has, I guess, been watching kind of how I roll. Well, anyway, and she recently just got engaged, like last week, maybe, like super recently. But she's been with her boy fiance for a number of years. Anyway, excuse me. I'm talking with, the team that she's on, her and the other folks, and she's on an awesome team, by the way. They're awesome folks. And she said, hey, I was talking to my fiance about you. And I said, oh, like, okay. I'm not sure where we're going. Like, hopefully it was positive, hopefully it was negative. And she's like, yeah, I was trying to describe you to him. And so I'm waiting because I've talked to her a couple times, but not at length. Well, yeah, not really at length. And so, but I guess she's seen me interact with other people and stuff. And so she's like, yeah, I tried to describe you to him. And I said, you got to meet this guy. You're going to really dig him. I don't know if she said dig him, but you're going to like him. And he is like walking sunshine. And so I'm like, wow, okay. Walking sunshine. Not exactly sure how to take that. She said, well, yeah, you just give energy to people. And so, and then one of my other homies, team members on the team, she's like, how's that make you feel? Which is one of my questions. That's a question I ask people. And I'm like, man, I let me think about that. I'm not exactly sure how to even take that. I'm like, walking sunshine. And then she said this my homie, she's like, and some people love the sunshine. Right? And for those of you on YouTube, you can see me lift my hands up in the air like, I love the sun, right? Kind of thing. And she made that gesture like, oh, I love the sun. But she's like, some people that maybe are albinos, the sun hurts them, right? It like hurts their skin and they can't take the sun. And I'm like, that's good. I agree. I am like some people, and I said, man, I've never been called walking sunshine before. I've been called like, you are like walking coffee or like a walking Red Bull, but I've never heard this walking sunshine thing. And so I said, I thank you for the walking sunshine. Maybe and even still like processing it out loud, external processing. I'm not exactly sure how to even process that. I mean, it's not a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just not sure how to process. I'm like, thank you. I think thank you, for saying that I'm walking sunshine. I think that's maybe a good thing. I guess to give people energy. I think that's a good thing. And so, and my goal is to make people feel shoved, seen, heard, understood, and valued, shoved and loved. And that's my goal. So being a walking sunshine is not a direct correlation to making people feel shoved and loved. Maybe a little bit of the love piece. So, but I want people to feel like when they're talking to me, when they engage with me, that they feel, shoved and loved. So I hope that there's something to think about, I guess, for how about you? How about you? How do you come across? And again, walking sunshine, again, I think that's a positive, good thing. I've still got to chew on a little bit. My goal is to make people feel loved and shoved. How do other people come across? How do you come across to other people? Here's another one. My previous episode. Can you read the room? There are some people that think, oh my gosh, like people love me, man. Like, oh my gosh, I add so much value to other people. And it's not the case. So I'm grateful that this new team member, who I don't know very well yet, it was fascinating to hear her observation of me. And again, I got to think through, okay, is that, do I want to be walking sunshine? Like, is that, or I don't know. I don't know. So I'm still working through it, processing that myself. But like, how do you want to come across? How do you come across to other people? How can you be more intentional at coming across to people the way that you want to? And then how consistent can you be at coming across to people the way that you want to? And a buddy of mine, one of my colleagues, he said, Noble, around us, I know that you have your big personality and we'll just, for the sake of this conversation, sunshine mode, right? You have your sunshine mode. Just know you don't have to be that for us all the time. It's okay to have off days and bad days and non-sunshine days. And I really appreciated that. I didn't know exactly where it came from, that comment came from. I was very appreciative when he shared that with me. So even if, and maybe this whole sunshine mode is a good thing, and maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. How do you want to come across? How do I want to come across? What type of impact do you want to leave on somebody that you meet maybe for only 30 seconds? And how can you be more consistent at coming across in an intentional, impactful, meaningful way? Thank you. And if this episode resonated, please share it with somebody. And thank you for all my YouTube folks, all my podcast listeners.